again. It's a rich thing.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Lay, if you have never seen my face before.
Hi, how you doing? I'm Lay.
So today's video, I'm not even gonna hold you. I think this needs to be a series, a practicing technique series. So that is what this is. This is a practicing technique type video. I wanted to try to do the round cut crease where it goes all the way and it doesn't blend out on the side, so it's very sharp and bold, and like you can see how it's just a straight circle without blending into the next color. I literally use the Carnival X Pro palette for the most part. I did use one color out of my ice cream palette, and y'all will see which color that is in a minute. I mean, it's not hard to figure it out, but yeah, so I did use one eyeshadow out of there, but all the other eyeshadows I used are out of the BPerfect Carnival X Pro palette. Yeah, and y'all, like, I love this palette. I love the color scheme, and I love all the different colors that it has. I really want to use this green. It's called Ecstasy, and yeah, y'all are going to be seeing a look coming up with this. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but I definitely want to touch on that. I might go on Instagram and ask what colors y'all think I should pair with it. I'm thinking either like green and blue, or green and brown, green, blue and brown, or even like a green and purple. So let me know what y'all think, like what color combination y'all think I should use with that green. So make sure y'all check me out on Instagram, because that is where I'm gonna have that question. Yeah, so I'm not even gonna hold y'all up. We're gonna practice this technique and get right into it. But before we jump into the video part, if this is your first time here, how you doing? Please make sure to subscribe. Yeah, just hit the subscribe button. It's absolutely free. You don't even, just click it and it's all yours. So hit subscribe. Make sure that you give me a thumbs up if you like this video, which I'm sure you're going to. And hit the bell notification if you want to be notified every time that I post something, which you might want to, because I have been doing a really good job. And now that it's spring and summer, those are the looks you're going to be doing. Y'all are going to love my spring and summer. I also have a skincare routine that I want to do, because my skincare has been like
Pores where?
So make sure that you hit the bell notification so you can be notified. And without further ado, let's go get pretty. Alright guys, so I'm starting off by doing my brows. I wanted to use a clear brow gel. This is kind of going to give the illusion of the soap brows. I absolutely love this product. This is by NYX, and it is their brow glue. So moving on to carving out my brows. Sometimes I do this in like the backwards motion. So I am doing, you know, I use the brow glue and then I go on to sculpting out my brow using my concealer. This is Cool Tan by LA Girl Pro. It's a really famous like concealer for doing things like this. Once I have my brows concealed and almost carved out, I'm going to go in with my P. Louise base in Rumor Zero, and I'm kind of going to shape out, you know, the shape that I want. Honestly, y'all, like, I really wanted this to be a more rounded cut crease. That was just the vibe I was going for. So I did try to, instead of like pulling my my concealer, instead of pulling my base out, I just kind of rounded it off, fixed my hair, grabbed the palettes that I'm going to be using. I'm using the Carnival X Pro by BPerfect. This is the XL Pro palette, and this has some colors that I am like truly excited about. You guys know me and color. I love a colorful look, and oh my god, like, just look at it. So to start off, I'm going in with Funky, which is a really pretty hot pink, and I'm mixing it with Persuasion just to deepen the pink a little bit, and I'm just kind of creating my eye shape. I'm using a Morphe, let me see if I can find this brush. Yes, actually I'm using a ᗪikiᔕ E310 brush to create the shape, and I'm doing a patting motion to get as much pigment as possible. Once I create the shape, I can kind of have like an outlook for exactly what I want to do, or you know, this kind of gives you like a gauge of what you're putting on your eyelid. So this BPerfect palette, yes, okay, like look at this color. It is exactly the same color that was in the pan. I love it. So now I'm taking that exact same brush. I'm getting most of the product, if not all the product, off by using my color switch. This one is by Sephora, but you can definitely get a color switch anywhere, and you can see like most of the product is off. Now I'm taking it around the edges, and I'm kind of doing a very light-handed like brushing motion to bring out, to get rid of that like harsh line. Since this is, you know, like I created the shape and this is such a bold color, the line can be really harsh. I don't know if you can see the difference, but this is the side that's still not blended, and that's the blended side. Moving on to my next crease area color, this is Pep Talk. Again, this is also in the BPerfect color. Excuse me. This is also in the BPerfect Carnival XL Pro palette. So I'm patting that in, and then I'm taking the brush and lightly dusting the edges just so I get a nice smooth blown out look. Now you can do this with 3 colors or 2. I'm going in with 2 colors, so I have that dark pink and then I have that bubblegum pink to blend out the edges. And yeah, now this is the part that's going to take me a minute. I took a little bit of makeup remover and I'm kind of creating the shape that I want. This part was really difficult for me, at least to make the outer portion, because you know it needed to be like a circle and not like a pulled out look. So I'm taking this and I'm creating that circle and then cleaning it up so that it's nice and dry before I go in with my eye base again. So this is why I don't put base on my lid, because as you can see I just literally wiped it off and I'm replacing it. So I'm sorry for the mirror being in the way. It was the only way I could get a sharp like circle on the outer part. So I'm just, you know, cutting the crease, creating that circular shape on the inside of my lid. I wanted it to come a little bit above my eyelid so that you could see the crease area, and then I'm going back in with the darker pinks and outlining the shape just so that you know you can still see the difference between the shapes. So for the lid shade, I'm going in with Keen, which is in the BPerfect palette, but then I really wanted it to be a little lighter. Like I don't want it to be like a gold, so I went in with the Glam Light palette and I went in with this really pretty light yellow. I love this yellow so much. It's so pretty, and I love yellow eyeshadow, period. Like yellow eyeshadow in the summer is lit, you know what I mean? So this looks really good as is, and I'm going to go ahead and cut the other eye off camera just because, you know, that took me a minute to do in the first place. Just to give it a little bit of sheen, I'm going in with Disco by e.l.f. It is like, it's almost like the Stila liquid eyeshadows, the glitter ones, and this just adds a little bit of sheen on top of that yellow without disturbing the actual color. Then I'm tight lining the top part of my lashes because I didn't want to do a wing. I coat my lashes with mascara, and then of course we're going to go in with lashes. For lashes, I'm going in with the BYL Cosmetics. These are in the style High Class. These are actually one of my favorite pair of lashes. They are so pretty. So we're going to go ahead and place those on and then move on to the face. For primer, I'm using the e.l.f. Mint Primer. Let me tell you guys, this primer is so good. I've never used the Milk Makeup Primer. It's really, I think it's called the Hydrating Primer. It's the jelly one and it's kind of sticky, and I heard that that is like a great primer, but it's like 30 something bucks. So I have been on this drugstore kick for a minute, and I went on TikTok and TikTok told me to try this one. Now I actually had to go on a hunt for it, and this was the last one in my Walmart, but I found it, so you know I'm using it. And I don't know if you can see the tack, like my skin is like bouncing. It's amazing. Another trick from TikTok is like blush with lipstick, your concealer, and your cream contour before you add your foundation. I wanted to try it, and yes, I do love it. So I start by placing where I'm going to have my concealer, right? And then if you've been watching my channel, you guys know with like bronzer, especially the cream bronzer, I struggle with how much to put on and it being too much. So right here, I'm just putting a couple of dots, but the great thing about doing this is if it is too much, you're going to cover it or at least blend it in with your foundation, so, you know, not to screw up. For my blush, I'm using this lipstick by Milani. It's one of the lipsticks that I really don't use that much on my lips anymore, but, you know, like, I wanted to give it a try, so I went ahead and did that. I started off by blending out my concealer because that's just like what my body told me to do. So I'm blending out the concealer, and then I go into the bronzer, and then I do blush last. But yeah, you do want to take your time and blend this out. Blend everything into each other. It's fine. And yeah. I don't know if you can tell, but it's already kind of coming together. So I'm doing the blush with a stippling brush, and just look, like, if I didn't want to wear foundation, I don't have to. I think this is like the perfect thing to do for the summer. Like, if you don't really want to wear a lot of makeup, and just add like a powder foundation, and girl, you'd be good to go. But I'm going to add a tinted moisturizer. So I'm using Pretty Fresh by ColourPop, and I'm just going to add, you know, a small line here, a small line on the other side, and then I'm going to blend that out using my beauty sponge, my Juno sponge. That's the one I'm using. And yeah, like, just watch the transformation. So if my bronzer was too harsh, it's not anymore. If my blush was too much, it's definitely not anymore. And I don't know if you can see, there is like a huge subtle difference. So I don't put on a lot, and I'm not sure how this would look if I used like a full coverage foundation. But I mean, so far, I really like this technique. I like the way it looks. I like the way it came out. I mean, just look at that. For my nose, though, I'm still going to do the contour on top, just because I do like the way it comes out, and I do a lot of blending on my nose, and I feel like if I did that underneath foundation, then the nose contour will be completely unnecessary, you know what I mean? So I think I've perfected my nose contour, if I'm being honest, like the way I like it, and I think this is the way I'm going to do it from now on. If you guys want me to do an entire video on how I do my nose contour, I have no problem doing that now that I think that I have, you know, I got it down packed, all right? Like, I think I got it now. So to set everything, I'm using my Morphe Banana Setting Powder. It's the Bake and Set Setting Powder, and I'm taking a Real Techniques brush, and I'm actually lightly setting my under eyes and all the areas that I added concealer very lightly before I do any type of baking. I do like to bake by my nose because that is where my makeup tends to break up the most. I do want to try the technique where, you know, you put the powder underneath your foundation and stuff, but, you know, one technique at a time. And I know these techniques aren't anything new. I used to like really not like baking, but I do like the way it looks when I'm done. So I am going to bake the sides of my nose, lightly under my eyes, and then a little bit just to contour the sides of my face a little bit. I just love the way it looks. So underneath my eyes, I'm going in with this neon liner by LA Girl. I will have the name of this color underneath, but it's like that neon yellow. And then I'm going to just pat a little bit of the eyeshadows that I used in my crease on my lower lash line right before I, you know, add that mascara. Sometimes I be forgetting about under eye mascara, but today you guys are going to be proud of me. I am not using lower lashes today. It's just today. I'm dusting away that powder to reveal this flawless nose contour. I mean, look at that. It just looks so good and so like natural and not like too much, you know what I mean? For bronzer, I'm using this Makeup Revolution bronzer in the shade medium, and I'm literally just like patting it just because I do want it to show a little bit more. And then I'm also going to get my temples and the top of my head, and I do a little bit on the tip of my nose just because that's the way I like it. For blush, I'm using this Milani blush. I believe this is in like rose. I mean, clearly you can see the rose, but the color will be down in the description. I also really like to put a little bit of blush on my nose. Don't ask me why. For highlight, I'm going in with the BYL Cosmetics highlighter. It's their Glow Lights, and this is in the shade Venus. So pretty. It's my favorite out of the trios that they have. This one is like a gold, and it's just absolutely beautiful. So I'm just adding, you know, like a light highlight on the face. I'm not going too ham with this one. And as you can see, now I am coating my lower lashes just with mascara. No lower lashes. Sorry. And then to set everything, I'm using the Pretty Fresh setting spray, which also has hyaluronic acid in it. So hyaluronic acid is great for hydration, so this is just really going to set everything. For my lips, I'm going in with my Morphe lip liner. This is just a brown lip liner in the shade Toasty. It is one of my favorite lip liners. It has actually replaced my favorite lip liner by MAC. We'll have to talk about that. So this is the NYX like milky lip glosses, and this is the pink milky one. And I'm just adding that in between just to give me a nice light pink sheen, especially since the eyes are so dramatic. And that completes this look. I really hope you all enjoyed this video. Please make sure like, share, subscribe to my channel, and until next time, beauties, stay blessed.